According to the World Health Organization, people who suffer from sex addiction for at least 6 months and find that it causes them distress should be able to access medical treatment for the problem. So this means that sex addiction treatment could become available on the NHS. What are your thoughts on that, Carol?
Have a guess. Well, look, don't get me wrong. I know that people have mental health issues and I know that they manifest themselves in many, many different ways. But I do not think that actually the NHS should now be classing people who can't keep it in their pants or keep their pants on as a clinical disease to be treated with taxpayers' money, especially when they don't have enough even to treat people who are dying. You know, I think it's completely wrong. So no, I mean, I'm not saying that sex addiction isn't a problem for some people. Yes, it is. I mean, you know, what they need to do is maybe get a little bit more self-control or something like that, or, you know, just stop it. But, yeah, people just don't do it. How about that?
But surely, I mean, I'm not an expert on this in any way, but surely if your behaviour is such that it's not causing you pleasure, it's causing you pain and distress, which is one of the conditions that the World Health Organization has put in place, then, therefore, that qualifies it as a disorder in the same way as an alcoholic doesn't get pleasure from drinking or a gambler no longer gets pleasure.
The thing is, if you believe that you can be addicted to alcohol and you believe that you can be addicted to drugs, and I think we can all say that we can.
Yeah.
Well, why do we not believe that we can be addicted to sex, to food, to gambling? Well, we know we can be gambling, but actually, if you're an alcoholic or a drug addict, it's actually easier to get well because you can abstain completely. My husband's a recovering alcoholic. If I accidentally put a quarter of a cup of wine into his glass and he drank that, he would be back off the rails and he would be drinking again. You can't do that with food. You can't do that with sex. You have to partake, you have to eat, you still have to have sex, but you have to, in some way, learn to control it.
Yeah.
And what Mark was telling me, that when he was in the Priory and there were people, because everyone gets treated in the same group, whether it's alcohol, drugs, sex, shopping, whatever. And he said the ones that broke his heart the most were the sex addicts. He said, because I was the same, because I went in there and went, yeah, right, you're a sex addict. You're just a bit of a, you know. But he said they're absolutely in pieces, this week, compulsively having sex, because lots of people use it as an excuse.
Yes,
people that just unfaithful.
That's what I mean.
But there is a real.
Say that.
No, but if you're talking, and this is what the World Health Organization was saying, if you're talking about somebody with a real sex addiction, which is destroying them, destroying their relationships, putting them in increasingly dangerous situations, as some of the stories Mark told me just would blow your brains, then I can understand why not treat them.
But
like you treat
it as a mental illness. Yes, people.
But it is addiction is a mental illness.
I agree that the NHS doesn't put enough into mental health and care for people with mental health issues. But to actually flag it up as something like sex addiction, you know, it's kind of gives people an option. And also there are a lot of people who get caught cheating and say, oh, I can't help it, I'm addicted to sex. You know,
well, there are those people, but it's a genuine thing.
And they're not going to go to the NHS saying they need help.
Yeah.
And I don't think any of us can say who deserves NHS help and who doesn't. We're all taxpayers.
I mean, the sad thing is there is so little money given from the NHS to addiction. There are so many people wanting to get into treatment centres for drugs and alcohol. I doubt whether many people are actually going to get help.
And you touched on one other subject there, which is shopping addiction. And again, that's the kind of thing that you think, well, just don't do it. Don't. But this is, you can understand that, can't you, Chizzy? That's something that is affected you.
I mean, years ago, I used to shop a lot to the point where, you know, I got into quite a bit of debt. I don't know if it was an addiction. It's not the addiction like I've got to the food, but it was a problem.
Were you eating less at the time?
I think, yeah.
So you were cut down on your eating and then you went over to shopping?
I was buying stuff because this is what my therapist has told me, that it was trying to replace love that I was missing. But it's not from my family, or, you know, because my family are brilliant. I'm talking about, you know, partnership.
Well, you know, Mark.
But the food is the same, though, isn't it? Is it that you just replace one with the other, or
I guess it
or you know, if you can admit to why you think you do something, then surely you're halfway to being able to do something about it.
But it's just not that easy, is it? I mean, that's why people getting sober from whatever it is, food or drink or drug, it's an incredibly difficult thing. People have to go to meetings their whole life, and the fact that you just said,
but people do it without that, though, as well. Remember, they do it without that. People do actually just stop. our friend Denise Welsh, she just stopped it. She stopped doing everything, smoking, drinking, whatever else.
Yeah.
And, you know, she just did it. She didn't go and see anyone. She doesn't go to meetings.
But I mean, I think that's great for her, but I think that we mustn't...
So
just because some people can do it doesn't mean that other people aren't struggling.
No,
with
I
mental
really,
health.
really want to hear,
but-
and I'm really interested to hear what you guys are saying, but you're talking about it in an abstract form. We've got someone sitting here right now who is actually, you're going through it and you're being incredibly quiet and reluctant to talk. Is it because it's too difficult for you, because it's too raw?
No, because I kind of feel like I've got to the place now where I've talked about it so much and I just need to do something about it.
How do you feel when you think about the fact that you've done something about it and it maybe perhaps hasn't worked, or it's worked for a little while and then you've stopped again? What's the emotion that you feel?
I guess I just feel not guilt. It's just failure, I suppose. You do.
You know
no,
what,
but I'm not. You know, I'm not saying that
but
to
you know
get any
what, you
sympathy.
have-
But it's the problem that I have created.
No,
and
you
I need
haven't.
to
No, you
sort-
haven't.
I don't
Well,
believe that.
well,
I think
I
you're
mean-
too hard on yourself, and I think you have made a first step, which is you've said you are powerless, you can't control it, and you need something else other than yourself to help you with it. And that is an amazing step to take that, and that's really brave.
And also, you've said it out loud here. So we will help you. We will help you. And it's not a failure. You know, success doesn't happen in one big, long, straight line. It's a big, old, wiggly line, and sometimes it goes backwards as well as forwards. And that's all it is. It's all good. All good.